Hello and welcome to June International's Round 2 Predictions brought to you by DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, the best place for rugby predictions and opinion. And we say Round 2, but this really is kind of the real start for a lot of people. Sure, we had the South Africa-Wales game in Washington, D.C. last weekend, but was it a full test match? Yes, it was officially, but there were a lot of brand new caps in that game, weren't there? So this is where basically it really kicks off and where everyone what everyone's been really looking forward to. So to kick things off this weekend, first up it is Tonga v Georgia. Now Georgia have beaten Tonga the last couple of times out, and both at the Rugby World Cup and then also 2 years ago when they toured down to the Pacific Islands. I think though Tonga just shown by the fact they qualified for the Rugby World Cup ahead of Samoa that perhaps they are an improving side, and I'm going to back Tonga to win this one by 3. I think it's actually in Suva rather than actually in Tonga, but I'm backing them to win by 3 anyway. Then we have Fiji playing Samoa. Now this wasn't supposed to happen. This was supposed to be against Romania, and Samoa was supposed to be playing off. Their playoff against the European side. But obviously, all of the shenanigans that had gone on in the European by the European rugby and eligible players and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have to see how that all pans out. But it's meant that those games have been delayed, and also that Romania have lost these games and Samoa has stepped in. Fiji, by being the top Pacific Island qualifying for a World Cup, has shown the strongest side there, and I'm going to back Fiji by 5 in that one. Then Japan host Italy, and this is a fantastic opportunity for Japan, who outside the Pacific Islands are, I would say, the strongest Tier 2 nation, and it's a great opportunity for them to get a Tier 1 scalp in Italy, who are, let's be honest, by far the weakest Tier 1 nation. So I'm backing Japan to win this one by 3. The Sunwolves, before they took their Japanese internationals out of the team, had a couple of good games in Super Rugby, and I just think that they've got a good chance of upsetting the Italians, who, to be fair, have had a good year or a good season in the Pro 14. So we'll just have to see how that one pans out. Then we come across to the first of the kind of big clashes with New Zealand hosting France at Eden Park, a place where New Zealand have not lost for many years. The last team they did lose to, though, was France. Now, France, if you go back and have a listen to the All Blacks edition, episode 6, where we talk about the New Zealand-France tour and this particular game as well. So we'll go into that in depth there. Suffice to say here, I'm going to back New Zealand to win this one by 10, but this is a French side that could, I don't like saying they're a predictable side, but they are a side that could definitely surprise. They haven't had the number of players missing we expected through the top 14 final, and they have had a good showing recently. So, backing New Zealand by 10. We then head across the Tasman for Australia versus Ireland, and surprisingly, there's been a lot of positivity coming out of Australian fans by this squad selection. Australia have not been performing great of recent, and their Super Rugby results haven't also been great. Sure, they have gained a couple of New Zealand scouts recently, which will have improved morale with the Blues losing and the Highlanders losing the Highlanders lost to the Waratahs. And the Blues lost to the Rebels. So you've got to say that, there is actually a bit of positivity in the Australian game at the moment. But I think Ireland, number 2 in the world, deservedly Grand Slam champions of the Six Nations. I'm backing Ireland to win that one by 5. We then head over to South Africa for South Africa versus England up at Ellis Park in Johannesburg. Yes, it's an altitude game, and sure, South Africa were playing Wales in Washington, D.C. last weekend, but they left a lot of players home to train for this game. It wasn't their first squad by any stretch of the imagination. You'll hear Eddie Jones talking about the 20 players he has missing for this tour. He's sure, but how many of them are actually first-choice players and how many of them are fringe players? I think it's being a bit disingenuous using that. But still, South Africa are down in 7th now in the world rankings. England had a poor Six Nations, but they are still number 3 in the world, and I'm backing England to win this one by 3. We then head over to South America, where Argentina take on Wales. The Wales obviously had that win, that scrappy win over South Africa last weekend. But Argentina have been playing, or the Jaguares, should we say, have been playing some fantastic rugby in Super Rugby. They're on a winning streak that they've never had ever before, after winning 4 games on tour of Australia and New Zealand, and then going home and winning a couple there too. So the Jaguares, or the Pumas, are going to come into this game with a lot of confidence. And off the back of that, I'm going to back Argentina to win that one by 3. We then head up to North America, where first off in the USA will host Russia. And I'm backing the USA to win that one by 10. We're going to maybe we'll start to see the fruits of the Major League Rugby, and the players having been in a much more professional environment before going into the USA training camp. So we'll see how that one pans out. And then we head north the border into Canada for Canada versus Scotland. You've got to say Scotland should have won this one by 15. A team that's definitely on the up, looked good in the Six Nations against Canada, who have been struggling, still haven't qualified for the Rugby World Cup. So those are my predictions. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Always up for a good old rugby chat. Hit the like button. Please do also subscribe. I'll be doing predictions for all the rounds of the internationals. I was going to say there's Six Nations. All the rounds of the June internationals. So do come back and listen to them each week.